Well, here it is. Day one, I guess, of doing the powertrain swap. I am still not sure if I'm going to do the time lapse of this one, just because I'm doing some weird things when I'm pulling this motor out, just because this car has been in pieces multiple times, even before my possession. So I know that when I put this car back together, I really don't want to fool with it anymore. And I'm probably going to be taking apart a lot of things that are totally unnecessary when it comes to pulling a motor out. Excuse the wind. It is suddenly very cold here in Houston and very windy because it was 84 degrees yesterday. But yeah, so I'm going to do some weird things on this one. I'm still going to do a little bit of stop motion. Well, not stop motion, but I guess a time lapse of when we get to the juicy bits of me yanking the motor out at least. But there's just going to be a lot of unnecessary stuff going on this one, just because the front end was wrecked before my ownership of it, and it was poorly repaired. I removed all of the poor repairs, but I did not put back all the stock components because I knew I would be crossing this avenue again someday. That day is today. I'm actually putting in a reliable motor in this car. I initially, when I 6-speed swapped it, I pulled the complete drivetrain out of the donor 2006 Maxima and just literally threw it in as is. That car was another $500 car that I purchased. It ran like a $500 car, but hey, it was 6-speed and it shifted fine. So that's all I wanted. Was I didn't want to have another dead chassis to push and have to get towed around. I at least kept, this car running this whole time. Whereas I wouldn't trust it to make a road trip, but I would definitely trust it to drive 2 miles away from where I live to where we are right now. And hell, I think I even took it to work a couple times and drove okay. But yeah, now we're putting in a reliable powertrain, something that I know that I can trust, something that I would probably be taking on cross-country road trips next year. And yeah, like I said, today is the first step in that long journey. Today we're just taking care of the power plant. After that, we're taking care of accessories and smaller wiring issues that, again, I just left undone. I removed all the terrible fixes that were done to this car, but I just did not put back the stock components. I just threw it back together haphazardly just to keep the car running because I did not have a powertrain ready for it yet. I had other projects in the way. But anyways, yeah, now I'm onto my 2008 6-speed, and I guess up next will be like a little time lapse of me yanking the motor out, and that'll probably be it for now. See you guys.
Alright, here we are with the carnage, an unknown mileage donor VQ35. And when I say unknown, when I pulled it out of the 250,000 mile car, it had junkyard markings on it. So I really mean unknown. Had some misfires. I threw in new spark plugs, some seafoam, and coil packs. Helped it run a lot better. But yeah, I just don't know the condition of it besides typical 6th-gen problems. It has a time and chain rattle, which is not worth fixing. And last year during the winter apocalypse down in Texas, the fact that I like to run straight water wasn't a great idea, and it claimed the water pump during the freeze last year. But again, this is like car number 5 for me. I'm not going to put antifreeze in it. That just gave me motivation to get to this point. So yeah, car's already been 6-speed swapped. About to yank everything out. Threw a racing line strut bar on here because I was tired of it rattling in the trunk. And yeah, I enjoyed it, man. This car was actually really fun for what it was. Only mods being headers, true dual exhausts, and a Haltech on a stock Haltech 350Z tune. And it was actually really fun. I didn't even put a block off plate in. The Haltech can't even operate that. So, like, I don't know. This car was just surprisingly fun for what it was. And it's about to be a lot more fun. So I guess up next is the magic moment of me speeding up time and yanking this thing out. Hey, I know I missed a lot. I jumped around a bit, but here we are. We're gonna pull this motor out right now. I have removed more than what I need to remove just because I'm doing a bunch of small things. For example, I sold the condenser on this car. I need to put a condenser in here, so there wasn't one in here. I have a Mitsumoto radiator that has bit the dust. My Also, well, radio interface need to come out normally, but this is a bunch of things that I'm doing. Also, I'm putting these small little air dams back in place on the car, and I've also swapped core supports. This is a 2004 to 2006 Maxima core support. The 2008s have a cool but useless air cutout right there that goes to the air box that goes right here. Why I say it's useless? There's no source of fresh air here at all, so I don't know why they did it. It's cool if you want to make a cutout in the bumper right here, but this car I'm trying to keep stock looking, so not going to happen. So I'm using the 04 to 06 core support along with the 04 to 06 air scoop that goes underneath the radiator, because it has a bigger hole to go into the air intake versus the 08. The 08's about half the size, about this big, because the other half is taken up for this useless air scoop here. Other than that, you know, drain your fluids, disconnect your hoses. There was no AC to, I guess, remove from the system, because again, I did not have a condenser. Kind of just leaving my hoses in there, not my hoses, but I guess my lines, my cables like that. Again, this car has been 6-speed swapped, but yeah, the harness disconnects nice and easy from the chassis side. Engine harness over there. I have to pull the motor out partially first, and then after you'll see it hanging in the air, that'll be me removing the power steering system from the car. I'm going to probably just, to keep it nice and neat, I will probably leave the pump in the car. Let's do that. All right, so I'm going to pull this motor up about halfway, give me maximum play here for the high pressure hose. I got a bunch of play. I can have this motor up pretty high actually, and so I'm going to have this motor up about halfway, and then you'll see me stop and work on it a little bit. That's just me removing the power steering on the back corner there. After the power steering gets removed, there'll probably be some fluid spilled, probably be some messes made, but oh well. You know, you don't achieve anything without making any messes. So either way, I think that's about it. Ooh, one little tidbit here. On the earlier Maximas, the power steering cooler, I mean, that's what it is, the power steering cooler, but it's nothing like amazing, like a radiator or anything like on the Land Rover or something, but I mean, it's better than what came on the car. It's bigger, so I'm also changing that. I changed that out, so pretty much like 04 to 06 underneath, but 08 on the outside. A lot of people like to upgrade everything to the 08, but yeah, not in this case, man. I pretty much use a lot of 04, 06 front end components, which all share. I mean, I had the headlights in, the headlights bolt on, everything bolts on. It's just small differences like that that I choose to be to my advantage. But anyways, yeah, motor will have to come halfway out, power steering's going to get removed, and then motor will be pulled out of the car and set on the ground, and that will be my time-lapse video, so, or sped up video anyways. So enjoy.